Today I'm going to expand on one we looked at in the last video on completing the square. So if you've not watched that, I'd advise going back and watching it just to recap. But we were starting off with a question, and it was y equals x squared plus 6x plus 7. We established that we couldn't actually factorise this, so therefore our next step would be to try and complete the square as to sort of gain some information on how to plot it. When we did that, we realised that the closest square to this was the square of x plus 3 squared, because when we expand this, we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. If we've got plus 9, here we don't have plus 9. We have the x squared, we have the 6x, but we don't have the plus 9. So I'm going to take away that 9 to get rid of it, and then add on the 7, which is what we needed. So I got the graph of y equals x plus 3 squared, subtract 2. Now what I said was I'm going to tell us how we can use this information to actually plot the graph. So some prerequisite knowledge is that if we have a positive x squared graph, which we do over here because this is positive, it will look generally like a U, which we call a parabola, and if it was negative, it would look like an N. So negative, and this is positive. In our scenario, it is positive, so therefore I will have a minimum turning point. To find that minimum, I'm going to think about what happens in this form. So, just splitting it up, I've got an x plus 3 squared thing, and I've got a negative 2 thing. I'm going to tell you that I need this x plus 3 squared term to be as low as possible. So to do that, I'm going to think about my squared numbers. If I think of my square numbers, every single time I have some value squared, it has got to be greater than or equal to 0. And let's think about that. So 1 squared is 1, 5 squared is 25, 10 squared is 100. Likewise, with negative values, negative 2 squared is 4, negative 5 squared is 25, so again, they're all positive. The lowest value I can get is when this box here is equal to 0. Because when this is equal to 0, that means that my thing that I'm trying to square is also equal to 0. That's the lowest value I can get. If I want the minimum point, it makes sense that I would need to find the lowest value. So this x plus 3, can we see how the x plus 3 would be that thing that I'm squaring? I want that to be equal to 0. That means that my x coordinate must be negative 3. When x is negative 3, this is 0, this squared term, so y is going to be equal to 0 take away 2. So my y coordinate is negative 2, and this is my minimum point. So when I come to plot this, I first of all need an axis, sketch I should say. I need an axis. I don't know why there's arrows on it, but regardless, this is x and this is y. Negative 3, negative 2 is going to be negative in the x-axis and negative in the y-axis. So it's going to be some point around here. I'm just going to draw on the parabola, which has the lowest point there. And I'm just going to make sure I label it as negative 3, negative 2. What I'd like you to do then, thinking about that last example, I gave you the equation of y equals x squared plus 8x plus 12. I'd like you to first recap how we complete the square and also draw an appropriate plot for that. So thank you for pausing the video. We should be able to complete the square on this to get x plus 4 squared, and it would be take away 16 plus 12, so we'd get y equals x plus 4 squared, take away 4. I'm just going to scroll down and give myself some more room. From here then, I know what my turning point is. My turning point is going to have a coordinates of negative 4, because that's when x plus 4 equals 0. X is equal to negative 4. And my y coordinate is negative 4 as well. So, what we are going to do, I'm going to draw on the same axes that I had earlier, but I'm going to indicate where this -4 is, so it'll be further across and further down. And again, I'm going to draw an appropriate parabola. It would need to look like a U and have a turning point here, and that would be -4, -4. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next one.